Hello, welcome again in Mr. Mat channel. Information to all. I am decided to give another update about coronavirus, which is, as you can see, the update was just 20 minutes ago. From Al-Jazeera News, world on brink of coronavirus pandemic. All the latest updates. This is the news from the uh, Al Jazeera News. So, uh, what's the update about? Okay, coronavirus in number countries with cases 48, total cases 82,000, total death 2,800. In China alone, we got 78,000 cases with 2,747 deaths, and total recovered from the coronavirus 32,531 in China alone. The coronavirus is spreading more quickly in Europe, in Middle East, and other parts of the world than in China, where the virus first emerged in central city of Wuhan at the end of last year. The number of new infections inside China was for the first time overtaken by fresh cases elsewhere on Wednesday, with Italy, Iran, and South Korea emerges as a new hotspot for COVID-19. This is the latest update about the coronavirus. In countries, virus quarantines must be proportionate, respect rights, said UN representative. Countries should only use quarantine against the deadly new coronavirus when truly needed and most respect the rights of those in isolations, the UN rights chief said. Addressing the UN Human Rights Council, Michael Bachelet hailed the medical teams around the world working to rein in the COVID-19 outbreak. But she said that respect for human rights needed to guide the response. She also said the ongoing epidemic, which began in China, had set off a disturbing wave of prejudice against people of Chinese and East Asian ethnicity. This is another part of the COVID-19 update. And meanwhile, in Japan, to close school nationwide, Japan will close school nationwide to help control the spread of the new virus. The government announced. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said he asked all elementary, middle, and high schools to remain shut down until spring holidays began in late March. The measure of affects 12.8 million students at 34,847 schools nationwide, the Education Ministry said. And we go to the Swiss, where confirmed 3 new coronavirus cases. The number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Switzerland has risen to 4, the country health authority said. In the western canton of Geneva, one person was tested positive for the coronavirus, while it was also confirmed in a couple in the southeastern alpine canton of Grisons, it added. All 3 patients are isolated in the hospital. Their condition is good, as said the Federal Office of Public Health. And in Iran, there is an update about an Iranian official confirmed infected with the coronavirus. Mojaba Zonur head of Iranian Parliament's National Security and Foreign Relation Commission, he said, he says he is infected with COVID-19. Zonur, who is also a deputy from the country's virus hit Qom city, said in the video message that he is currently in quarantine. So even the Iranian official like National Security or Foreign Relations Commission, Mojaba Zanur, also infected with coronavirus. Moving on to Britain, report 2 new cases of coronavirus. The United Kingdom said 2 additional patients tested positive for the new coronavirus, which was passed on in Italy and Spain, Tenerife. The latest cases rise the total number of infections to 15, including 8 recovered patients. So this visual from Al-Jazeera News, where this infection professional wearing protective gear spray antiseptic solution in Seoul. This was from Seoul. Moving on, crew leaves Japan. Virus hit ship for the new quarantine. A crew member from the coronavirus-stricken cruise ship off Japan began leaving the vessel for a new quarantine on shore after passengers left the boat, the government said. So there were 240 crew members leaving the ship, and this embarking operation will continue for a couple of days, said the health minister official told AFP news agency. So the leaving the boat will be placed in a medical observation for 14 days at the government designated dormitories before being allowed to leave Japan, they said. So this is there's many news update, but we go to the next news agency from CNN, the mainstream media. So take a look the current update from CNN. Let's play the video first.
It's unclear how this person got coronavirus. Maybe they did get exposed to someone who was infected. We're not sure exactly how this happened, but it could represent the first example of community transmission. And that's something that we've been talking about for some time. This idea that you haven't traveled there, you haven't come in contact with a known infected person, and yet you still have the coronavirus. That's an indication that the virus is now here and starting to spread within communities. Again, the CDC is still going to chase this down. It's unclear if that patient represents this first evidence of community spread, but the president has been saying for some time, look, it's not inevitable that this will happen. Maybe we don't have any community spread at all, and which has been at odds with what we're hearing from the CDC, who has been saying it's not a question of if community spread will happen, it's a question of when it will happen. So that's why so much attention is going to be paid to that one patient. We'll certainly give you details as we get that.
That was a report from CNN News about the coronavirus in USA. So we have to be careful about this new
Beyond
disease.
this point, the red zone.
So there is 20 minutes ago, CNN has posted the news about Japan Prime Minister requests closure of all school until April. We had covered that. So this is the school was mentions here. A school closed due to concern over the coronavirus outbreak is seen in Hokkaido, Japan on Tuesday, credited Kyodo News Agency. So Shinzo Abe, Prime Minister, making a hard decision to close all the school, including middle school, high school, to be closed until April, until the coronavirus COVID-19 has been stopped spreading across the globe. So also 34 minutes ago, CNN has had reported Iran coronavirus death reached 22 as crisis worsened. 22 people have now died from the novel coronavirus in Iran, the worst hit country outside of China. The mortality rate from COVID-19 in Iran has soared to over 13%, significantly higher than any other country experiencing an outbreak of pathogen. Some suspected that may be down to an underreporting of the total number of cases, which stand at more than 114. The death rate in China Hubei province, the epicenter of the virus, is around 2%. The country, which is already struggling with an economic crisis worsened by crippling US sanction, is scrambling to contain the virus as well as the fear it has sown. Despite the virus spread, President Hassan Rouhani said on Wednesday the authorities won't quarantine any Iranian cities. He also warned about the virus becoming a weapon at the hands of our enemy as part of their propaganda against the country. Okay, this is now it's turns out to be a political from the Iran. I don't know the correspondent in Iran, CNN. The reporting was, and the response of the President Hassan Rouhani about this COVID-19 is unbelievable. But moving on, a hour and 6 minutes ago, CNN also report about the coronavirus in South Korean outbreak. There is a video, I think. So let's check it out. This video first. Seems to be there is online. There's a problem with connection, but we try to give away. Okay.
Tell me, how is it with your family right now? You said you live with your wife and your parents and your dog. How is the family doing with the health crisis right now?
We care a lot about personal hygiene. For example, hand washings more than 30 seconds before and after going out, wearing masks all the time outside, avoiding contact with people as much as possible in order to prevent infection.
Okay, so you're being very careful right now.
Yeah.
How does it feel in Daegu right now? Is it scary? Is it stressful? Or is it pretty relaxed?
Well, like there are fewer cars in the whole city, fewer people in a restaurant. It's a lot quieter than before, but people seem to be careful of this situation. And moreover, social media shows a lot of citizens lining up in the morning to buy masks and groceries. I think how to say, exaggerated masks sold out, shortages of groceries, etc. are a lot of problem yet. Because even if you go to a market or a convenience store in front of the house, there's no shortage of food.
The streets are more empty. Are people okay, or do they look worried these days?
Kind of worried, but since a few weeks ago, like weddings and group meetings were mostly canceled. Because people are kind of afraid of this situation.
Yeah.
But I believe that Daegu citizens are aware of the seriousness of the situation, and they are doing their best hygiene.
What do you want to tell people outside of Daegu about your city and about the people there in this crisis?
Even though the number of patients is rapidly increasing and fears is spreading nationwide, we know that the central government and local governments are doing their best So rather than overwhelming fears, we think that if we all work together to deal with the situation, we can all overcome it. It.
Yeah, and the president came to Daegu. What did you think about that visit?
I believe that he's doing his best to make the city stable and safe. So, and also I believe that Daegu people's citizenship is high. So I think we can overcome this situation by taking care of us as soon as possible. Um, yeah, because we all know that the government is doing their best. So, and the president of Korea visit to Daegu. So we are not that afraid of this situation.
Your family, everybody stays at home these days, right?
Right.
What do you guys do sitting at home now?
Well, just eating and sleeping and um, not try to go out. Yeah.
It's a little boring, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. We have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've heard some people from Daegu say, hey, we're getting criticized in social media, in other parts of Korea. Is that something that worries you, or you're not hearing that?
Yeah, like as I told you, like social media shows a lot of citizens like lining up in the morning, but it's kind of like exaggerated. So I don't really think that I don't really like believe what social media shows us. So we just keep our way to prevent this situation, and yeah. So I hope this situation getting better.
Are you still taking your dog out for walks every day?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Wear mask and yeah, they can walk.
Does the dog have a mask?
No.
Okay.
Okay, that was an interview between the CNN correspondent in Korea, not in South Korea. So yeah, we go to the news. Businessman Son Young Ha, 31, is living at the center of South Korea's coronavirus outbreak. Um, there was an interview between CNN correspondent to the Son Young-ha, 31, living in the center of the South Korea. So, out of more than 1,700 cases of this coronavirus that South Korea has confirmed, more than 1,100 are from the southern city of Daegu. In the street, Sun said there are fewer cars and restaurants are less crowded. It's a lot quieter than before. People seems to be careful of the situation. He told CN over Skype. So he also added a wedding and group meeting been mostly cancelled because people are kind of afraid of the situations, and he believed Daegu citizens are aware of the seriousness of the situation and they are doing their best. So that was the interview, and moving on to the first coronavirus case in Denmark is linked to the Italy outbreak. Okay, the Director General of the Danish Health Authority, Soren Brostrøm, a second from left, addresses a past conference on a Thursday in Copenhagen regarding to the first case of coronavirus detected in the country. Danish authorities have confirmed their first case of coronavirus in the country amid fresh concern over the spread of an outbreak in Italy to the rest of the European continent. Several European countries have reported their first cases of novel coronavirus in the past 2 days, with some tracing the case back to the Italy outbreak. The Danish developed a cold and fever after return from the skiing holiday in Italy's believed to be in the Lombardy regions, where cases of the coronavirus are heavily concentrated. The man, wife, and son, who were also tested in isolation on Wednesday, did not show any signs of having coronavirus, Denmark health authorities said in the statement. He also added the guidelines of the Danish health authority have been followed. High praise to the staff at Zealand University Hospital in Rosk Light for nice handling, said the Danish health authority Soren Bostrom. The family member will remain in home quarantine. In the authority said, I'm just parching from reading the news. So there's a new update news. So I'm going to read the newest update. This was came 8 minutes ago while we are recording this. In historic move, Saudi Arabia suspends travel for pilgrimages to Islam's holiest site. Saudi Arabia, this came just 9 minutes ago. Saudi Arabia has suspended pilgrimages to Mecca and Medina for people outside the country over novel coronavirus fear. The kingdom, which bills itself as the custodian of Islam's two holiest cities, will open religious ritual to resident and national only. This is the tweet from the Foreign Ministry of Saudi Arabia. We ask God Almighty to spare all humanity for all harm. Precautionary measures to prevent coronavirus from reaching the kingdom. Entry to the kingdom, the purpose of Umrah and or visiting the Prophet Mosque in Medina is temporarily suspended. Entry to the kingdom with a tourist visa from countries with confirmed coronavirus outbreaks according to criteria established by Saudi Health Authority is temporarily suspended. So which means in my country here, Malaysia, we cannot go for the Umrah, also visiting the Prophet Mosque, because in Malaysia we got 22 cases occur, but all of them were quarantined, and not all the Malaysian are infected with COVID-19, but all of them was quarantined in Peninsula Malaysia, and in my place, Sabah, especially, there are no coronavirus here, so there was no worry. But this is the precaution from the Saudi Arabia to prevent the spreading of the COVID-19. So I continue to recite the reading the news. In recent years, diplomatic rift in the region restricted travel for pilgrims from Qatar and Iran, prompting an outcry. But the wholesale temporary ban on foreign visit to the holy sites is a first in living memory. Across the Middle East, governments have been struggling to cope with the spread of the COVID-19. Also, I remember there were another virus, MERS-CoV, I think, from the camels, but that was been overcome for the past years. Moving on, across the Middle East, yes, government have been struggling to spread the COVID-19. Iran, a regional breeding ground of the virus, has cancelled the Friday's prayers in affected provinces. Iraq has closed school, public offices, and other public gathering until March 7th. Kuwait, which has the second largest number of confirmed coronavirus cases after Iran, is also scrambling to stem the spread of the virus, evacuating citizens from Iran and Italy, which has also seen a surge in the virus. The majority of Middle Eastern coronavirus cases have come from Iran, one of the biggest outbreak countries outside of China. Iran has 141 confirmed cases and 22 have died from the sickness, according to state media. Saudi Arabia, which froze diplomatic relation with Iran in 2019, has no reported cases of the virus. In addition to stopping pilgrimage for outsider, preventive measure include suspending the entry of nationals of countries which confirm coronavirus outbreak, according to a tweet by the Saudi Foreign Ministry. Saudi Arabia stressed that these measures are temporary and subject to continuous evaluation by the relevant authorities. A graphic embedded in the tweet said, "We ask God Almighty to spare all humanity from all harm." So that was the news. So it's a very in my response to this news, because maybe some of my countrymen in Malaysia also go for Umrah. So there was, I think, until the March or maybe April, there was, I think, no one will go to the outside from our borders for the pilgrimage, because the Saudi Arabia has closed their border from all countries to come for the purpose of pilgrimage. So I think that is all I can give you to all. I also look at the statistic of my internet connection has been dropped down. So that's the update I can give you about the coronavirus, COVID-19. So if there are any chances for me to go live and spreading the not spreading the COVID-19 but spreading the news, the latest news, I will keep in touch with all of you guys whom subscribing and also who are watching this live. If you haven't subscribed this channel, please subscribe my channel, and please follow me by hit the notification button. And if you got any chances, just share this video for all information to all of our families, our relative, our whole community will know about this news. So thank you for watching for this live, and see you in another live. In time to time we will